Hello, all new viewers to my new channel. This is my first video that's going up. My channel name is Stardust. Yay. I just review Roblox games and stuff of the like. I just felt like I wanted to make a channel to review my favorite kind of games because I really adore Roblox a lot. Now, there's a lot of good games on Roblox, but there's definitely a lot of bad games, and I would probably say the bad games probably outweigh the good games, if you know what I'm saying. But today, I really want to just review a game that could be the face of Roblox, a face of all of the games that actually could be good on this godforsaken platform. Yes, today I will be reviewing the action RPG Fantastic Frontier by Spectrabox. Fantastic Frontier, as I just said, is an action RPG. Now, I've seen tons of action RPGs on Roblox in my life, and none of them really hit home for me. But this game has a special kind of charm, and it's pretty easy to see throughout the game. So, the game starts with a simple character creator, and then a tutorial teaching how to play the game. Nothing new for any Roblox game. Then it drops you into the town to start the game. You have nothing except for a wooden sword and a little bit of gold. So first thing I did was buy a rapier and a pickaxe, then it was off. The first thing about this game is, you really don't level up. Not traditionally at least. The way to get stronger is purely by getting fat stacks. Yup, this game is the capitalistic dream, cause money is what makes the world go around. You can get money by selling whatever you can find to this little raccoon buddy over here. Yes, this one, this little cute one right here. Look at his face. I love him so much. I really enjoy that there's just one central person you can sell all your stuff to. In other RPGs, it can be really confusing when you have to go from vendor to vendor, trying to get the best prices or trying to sell certain things to certain people. This just makes it so much simpler. So naturally, like any RPG, I go and fight monsters to get cash. Melee combat in this game is really great, especially for Roblox standards. Every swing you make has weight and impact to it. Making an attack is a full commitment. You can't cancel out of it or move away at all. Once you make an attack, you invest in it, and hope you can come out having dealt damage to your enemy while not having taken any damage yourself. Now, naturally, it's kind of laggy, and if Roblox wasn't how it is, being such a laggy system with such laggy servers, then the combat system would work a lot better. But for Roblox standards, it's really amazing. There are multiple different weapons too, each one to fit your different playstyle. There's a scimitar, scimitar, which one is it? Can you please tell me in the comments? I don't know. For if you want to do a little damage each time without getting hit, or just want to go all in. There's a great sword for if you don't mind taking damage and deal big damage, or if you're patient enough to wait for the perfect opportunity, because the weapon's so slow. Or there's the rapier, which I personally use for the majority of my playthrough, which gives you range on your enemies. You're able to lunge in after your enemy misses an attack, and able to pull out quickly. Combat in this game really reminds me of Dark Souls in a good way. It even has a stamina bar, which means you can't just spam attacks randomly. But this leads me to my big complaint. In this game, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to die a lot. Ah! What? The heck? No! In the beginning, like I would any other RPG, I bought a sword and went out to kill a bunch of monsters. But for me, the first couple hours were just wandering around, getting insta-killed by monsters, and getting lost. I didn't even realize for a really long time that there was a button to teleport you back home. Yes, look at that. Look at that little house button on the top, the greenhouse button. That's a teleport button. I thought it was just an icon, but it's not. I don't know if you guys know that, but I didn't realize that for a really long time. In the beginning, it really feels like you aren't able to play how you want. What I wanted to do was just grab a melee weapon and kill a bunch of monsters until I get better weapons. There was magic, but I didn't really want to use it at all. I wanted to be more like a knight or a fighter. But what you're supposed to do, after researching and talking to experienced players, is to literally pick hundreds of flowers, or go fishing at key spots for many different trips, until you can get the weakest little magic. Once I did this, I found I was making much more headway than I was before. But let's talk about the most broken thing in this game. You say that's the right thing, but I've seen you all the time. Deep shit. You say that's the right thing, but I've seen Once you get magic in this game, everything changes. It's kind of like a breaking point in the game's progression. Even once you get the weakest magic, you can automatically face almost any monster. You see, magic is ranged, and it just uses your stamina, which means you'll never run out. So as long as you keep your distance from the enemy, you practically can't die. I was able to completely solo multiple bosses by just getting to a place where they couldn't reach me and firing away. The problem with that isn't just that it's overpowered, it's that it's boring too. I spent an extreme amount of time just grinding enemies by just casting fireball at them over and over. But magic can be fun, and once you're able to use melee weapons again, and you get stronger, things can pick back up again. Despite the complaints I had, I actually really enjoyed Fantastic Frontier. The game was amazingly well made, and it's overflowing with charm. There's so many different kind of enemies to fight, and so many different people to speak to. It really reminds me of any kind of JRPG like Chrono Trigger or something. It was really nice to just see people walking around fully decked out in cool gear and awesome weapons. It really inspired me to get out there and make some coin. The sheer amount of items in this game is awe-inspiring. They each have different creative effects and different attacks, and all weapons have their own different special attack, and they all do different things. It's really cool. It's so calm and relaxing just to put on some music and grind for hours on end. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. But without further ado, let's get right into the final rating. Before I give my final verdict, let me explain my rating system. So you got your classic 5-star rating system, which means that 1 means the game sucked and there's nothing good about it. 2 means the game wasn't that good and I probably wouldn't recommend it to anyone at all. 3 means the game's an average. 3 means the game's pretty average. Something you'd probably see a couple pages into the front page on Roblox. 4 is a game that's pretty good and really high quality for a Roblox standard. And 5 is a game that's amazing, a game that's like almost flawless for Roblox standards, and a game that should be the face of Roblox. And I would recommend it to almost any Roblox player. There's also my hidden rating system, shooting stars. You can get a maximum of 5 or a minimum of even 0. 1 being I personally enjoyed it a little, to 5 being I personally enjoyed it a little too much. Now to give it its final rating, which you've all been waiting for. Can I get a drum roll, please? The final rating is 3.9 stars and 2 shooting stars. Yep, that's it. I thought that this game was really well made and well polished. I enjoyed the charm and the graphics were great. It had an extremely good and fun combat system, but unfortunately it was extremely weighed down by the horrible and stilted progression. Like how it's impossible to fight enemies until you get magic, and once you did, it got extremely boring. That's what stopped it from being a 4 or a 5. Even despite these flaws, I found myself excited to come back and play again for another session. And that's Fantastic Frontier. It's definitely not the face of Roblox like I was expecting, but it's still a really fun game. But, alas, never forget that this game, and even a lot of other games that I'll review, is in early access. And so there's always room for the developers to add new features and even fix my complaints if they watch this video, which would be really cool. Thanks for watching, and if you want more of this thing, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you want to see me review a game, please leave a comment and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. Thanks, and goodbye.
Good.